Was knocking them fools out. Oh, life is trying to knock me out. I know that. Guys, what's up? Take two. See what I mean? I don't even know if you can hear the ringing, but immediately get a call after I start the recording. Oh, yeah. Guys, it has been a month. Hope everybody's doing well. Obviously, I haven't done one of these recordings for a while now, if you keep up with my shows, my posts, anything like that. But times have definitely been better. I recently, unfortunately, lost a family member. My grandpa he was definitely up there, which is a shame because I was 6 months out of Charlottesville in a new area, and the guy has a bad fall, and that was it. I mean, he had already had a bad fall before that, and had stumbled a couple of times, never around me, but it was just that time. And this happened as I was going back to my hometown for the first time since I had moved out, my home state for the first time since I had moved out. And there was also the obviously hurricanes, I should say, not just hurricane, because that had me rescheduled. I was already a little bit jumbled up. It's just been so much is going on, but things are, things never keep me down. Like all of you, I go through trials and tribulations, as I used to say with my dad, and this is no different. And I'm happy that my grandfather's not struggling anymore. My parents had to, for the last 6 months, rush over to see him if he wasn't feeling well. And I know at their age, that's a lot of maintenance. Plus, he has a wife who is going through some things, and it's just to know that he's not struggling anymore. I turned my attention to her now, but our family's going to be all right. Excuse me. Uh, my dog, poor Buffy, is going through it too, but had surgery and it went well, and life is going all right. I am finishing out a couple obligations going into November, and then I'll be on a little bit of a hiatus. I'm pausing things for a bit just because it's a time where I don't need to be doing anything as far as entertainment goes, and I really don't have the drive to do that right now. Um, I'm trying to go do a show coming up in a couple different cities. Actually, I'm doing shows. Um, Orlando, supposed to be in Miami, and I have some podcasts that I'm going to be dropping in November, and then I think that's it, at least for the rest of the year. So I am excited to announce that I will be doing shows in Los Angeles at Fourth Wall Comedy. This is exciting because it's bringing back Our Apologies Comedy, which was my comedy show that I was doing up until the vid came up, COVID in 2020. We were doing, I did showcases all over Virginia and did an open mic in Richmond with it, and did a festival before that, which planted the seed in my head to do a consistent comedy show, which was the Shenandoah Valley Comedy Festival. I can't wait to get back and do this show. And it's going to be cool. The headliner, I'm excited to announce soon. It's just that the dates I had planned were going to be in December, but now because of this news, I don't know about that. But that's my life. Just wanted to catch you up on it a little bit. By the way, Dubby Energy, check them out. Very cool product. I plug them on every podcast or anything period that I can think of where I think it's a good place to drop their name. They are very healthy energy drinks. I know you're hearing that going, how can an energy drink be healthy? Well, check the ingredients. This is not like your typical rubbish. I have a couple things I can name. One rhymes with the word rhyme. I'm not going to knock delicious Red Bull because once in a while I'll have one of those. I'm a sucker for that kind of taste. I don't know what it is, but Red Bull specifically, some people have said that it tastes like cough medicine. I don't think that's true, but it does have a specific taste to it. I like Red Bull. I don't have anything too bad to say about them, but there's plenty of bad energy drinks out there. So drink W Energy. They are a growing company, make fantastic products. Can't recommend them enough. They are a proud sponsor of the Postgame podcast and Wildcard comedy shows. Let's get to some sports, and I will get to some coffee simultaneously. So, yeah, man, the last time I did one of these was I can't even. I think it was it the podcast I did with Cody, but I mean, where to begin? The past week, first of all, Alabama loses again. I have a buddy of mine who comes into town, huge Texas fan. First time we've seen each other since December of last year. When I told him I was moving to Florida, he's from Florida. And when you know it, Texas loses to Georgia. I thought it was just the perfect weekend to see our team do well. You know what? I would say Texas has become my second favorite team behind Miami. But for him, he loves Miami, but they become his second favorite team. So it's kind of like we've just done a little bit of switch it up. But Texas, I always had respect for. It's just they were never my top choice. But since he moved down there and his brother goes to school there as well, or did go to school there, it's like, yeah, I respect the heck out of that team. And they just, man, they never showed up in that game. I was listening on the radio. I was stuck in traffic on 95, so of course, and it's just I don't know what it was. I think Texas, I want to just give them the benefit of the doubt and say that they had an off night because I think they did. And you know, once you get Arch into the game, it started to actually become a game, but their efforts fell short. Georgia's no joke, all right? They lost to Alabama in a war, and it was kind of a similar thing where they were just getting shellacked in that first half, and then all of a sudden they're back. It was an interesting game to watch, and I saw most of that Georgia-Alabama game. So who knows who's the clear front runner, but I said at the beginning of the year, it's going to be Georgia winning it all, and I haven't changed my opinion on that. However, the game that nobody is talking about, they absolutely should be talking about Penn State and Ohio State, because Ohio State has not beaten anybody yet, but I can't sit here and crown Oregon because they're playing Purdue, teams like that. They beat Ohio State by 1 point. Whoever wins the Penn State-Ohio State game, that's massive. I mean, that determines I think going forward, who's going to be at least number 3 or 2 for the rest of the season. So pay attention to that game. I mean, that's massive. And speaking of Oregon, their first test this weekend, it's coming up on Saturday at, I can't remember if that's a 3 o'clock game or a noon kickoff time, but Illinois, massive test for them. I don't know if I'd say that, but a test. You know, you're playing the number 20 team in the country. You've shown some flash, but I mean, to look good winning at home against a ranked team, never a bad look for you. Miami, I don't know yet. Miami is definitely, I mean, this team is winning games in exciting ways, putting up points, going down big, coming back. You love it, but they're playing Florida State this weekend. It's a game they should win. I want to see a dominant performance, and this will really say a lot to me about Miami if they can go in here. And I mean, I'd love to see them win by 40 at least. Miami hasn't really. I mean, if you're going to judge off anything, though, they haven't played many teams, but to show the tenacity they had against Tech to come back from 10 down against Virginia Tech and to beat Cal being down, 25 with not that much time to go. Miami's a fighter, and then to put up 52 on the road against Louisville, their defense is what I'm worried about. I mean, their secondary is just some of these plays getting trashed, and you're like, if this is going to be a championship team, that's where they need to improve. Up front, I think the pressure looked good against Louisville, but overall the defense, not their best performance, and they struggled pretty much in every area in that game. But, you know, the defense for Louisville did too, because it was an offensive shootout. So we're going to see what happens. I mean, that's why I think Florida State is a game where it'll say a lot about your defense. Offensively, as long as you put up more points than Florida State, it doesn't really matter because you've been doing that every game of the season. But I want to correct that statement. I believe that the defense in this game, that's going to say a lot how they perform. I'm trying to think. There's also, Alabama has. I know they're playing somebody ranked this weekend. They're number 15 in the country, which is strange to see Alabama be out of the top 10. Just it's wide open right now in college football. So we're going to see how that shakes out, but I'm going to stand by my team. Let's see where Miami goes. Number 6 right now. I'm just enjoying it. Undefeated. I hope it's not like they're playing a team like Florida State, like the Redskins and Cowboys in 1989. It's an epic collapse and they lose to. The difference is that Redskins Cowboys game featured a poor Redskins team as well as a piss poor Cowboys team. Miami's not a piss poor team. You're the number 6 team in the country, so you should smoke the Knowles. Let's decapitate this team. NFL action. Steelers hanging around. I saw that some of that game on Sunday. Chiefs not moved as the number 1. The Ravens have been looking better recently. I don't know. They looked kind of slow from the start, but that's changed recently. Man, who else was there? NFL games I don't remember off the top of my head like I do college football games. Jags, if I'm going to talk local sports, got an international dub, won my friends some money, but against the Patriots, so that's not that big an achievement. Can we be honest here? But the Jaguars can get some momentum. I mean, hey, they have a tough stretch coming up, starting with Green Bay, who is no slouch, and Green Bay is proving themselves because they have a guy like Jordan Love who is already in the record books when it comes to QBs in that town. You have some stiff competition. I don't even have to name the guys, but they're looking good, Green Bay, in a division where you have to look damn good. So I don't know about Green Bay yet as far as I do believe they're going to make the postseason. We're going to see how far they go, though, because I think last weekend we just watched, I believe we watched the NFC Championship matchup this past weekend, and Minnesota got bested. So what's going to happen that game? Man, I got to get some air in here. Woo. UFC, Max and Ilya. I'm so excited for this fight and the return of Hamzat. Look, Hamzat can bang, and it's going to be very interesting to see if it goes to the ground or not, because if it stays standing, I don't trust Hamzat. I think Robert will take over, but I'm rocking with Whitaker. Max, same thing. Yeah, and that's that for the big matchups there. I really do believe that the fight with Alexander could be similar to the Robert fight, where you have a guy who, Alexander can stand pretty well, but will it go to the ground? That's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm not giving a big breakdown about this because I will be doing a UFC reaction show coming up soon, reacting to these fights specifically. But they just had the presser for this card. I haven't been this pumped for a card for the UFC, and I can't tell you how long. I think since Alex and Khalil fought, but even then, I was like, yeah, I expect Alex to win. So it's going to be interesting to watch the Max fight because, if Max loses, which I expect them to stun us and be on the ground more than you would expect, but if they stand and throw blows, don't sleep on Ilya, but I expect Max to hold his own. And if they stay standing the whole fight, I think Max can get a decision win. If it goes to the ground, I think Ilya's going to have enough to get it done, but I expect it to go to a decision. It just depends how it's going to play out. I have to go back and watch more of Ilya's highlights because the only fights I've really watched of his closely was Josh Emmett and obviously Volk. But hell of a matchup, man. This card is definitely very exciting. So, and all of this can be rounded out by what's going on tomorrow. I'm missing something big for this sports broadcast. Oh, yeah, that's right. The World Series. Man, you want to talk about the most classic matchup in World Series history, possibly in MLB history. look no further than the Yankees and the Dodgers. Which, trivia question, where do the Dodgers used to play in New York? Do you know the answer? Comment down below if you do, because I do. I have a family member who was actually born there. And man, look, how deep are their bullpens? That's a big thing. I mean, Judge, how does he show up under the bright lights? There's more home games for the Dodgers than there are for the Yankees in this series. It was 2-1 Los Angeles in the regular season. So very, as far as their matchups go, not in postseason play, very evenly matched. And I don't know. I mean, the Yankees have been hot, and I've been praising them since the year started. I said when I predicted the World Series on these podcasts for the first time, which was mid-season, that it would be the Yankees and the Phillies. I'm so excited for this. I think the Yankees, I feel like they can get it done. I don't expect Aaron Judge to come in here and just to fall short. I think this is his moment, and we're going to see. But the Dodgers have been here before. This is no. Both of these teams have been here, but it's been longer for the Yankees. So I still want to believe that Aaron Judge is ready for this moment, even as an Orioles fan. It's tough to say, but I believe the Yankees are going to show up. Although wouldn't be surprised if the Dodgers win. My prediction is a 7-game series goes to the New York Yankees. Congrats. The damn Yanks get another title. Do they really need any more? But guys, hope you're doing well. Some other stuff going on this week. I know there's a game tonight, NFL game. There's also Syracuse and Pitt college ball on. We also have the Fury and Usyk press conference wrapped. I think yesterday that happened. I just threw the highlights on for that, so there's plenty of good stuff happening, guys. And I also just wanted to, in addition to talking sports, let you know I am doing all right. Thank you so much for people who have reached out, who watch these shows. You mean more than you'll ever know. Tearful goodbye later. Thank you everyone for watching and for being there for me. I'll be back and be dropping some show info later this week. Plenty of good stuff in the works, and of course I'll give you an update when I'm going to be off social media. But go ahead and reach out to me on social media. I'll still respond to the DMs and comments. I'm just going to be doing it less frequently, and I would imagine it's going to be more DMs than comments. I try to get back to everybody. That's that, guys. Just make sure to if you call me or text me or DM me, whatever you do, if you have my number, if you reach out on Instagram, just not in the middle of the night, and absolutely not if you're a spammer. I certainly hope all spammers of the world are sooner or later going into the slammers of the world. You deserve it. But guys, outside of slandering spammers, say that 5 times fast, I don't think I have anything else for you. Be good. Go Max.